Here at Human 2.0, we value health. Health, as the foundation for your life and the determining factor for the longevity of it, is absolutely vital. It has to be priority number one because everything else you do depends on it. We don't really have a choice in prioritizing health, though many people live like they do. We either invest in it now and genuinely better the quality of our life, or pay for it later when we are sick or injured. The most valuable asset we have is our health, which is why it's essential we invest in it right now. I don't necessarily mean monetarily, but rather with our attention. Even though we may know what to do to be healthy, eat nutritiously, stay active, practice mindfulness, nurture our social relationships, etc., our modern society makes the unhealthy choice so easily accessible. Without putting in conscious effort, we can find ourselves in comfortable, complacent, and mostly sedentary lifestyle of convenience. I definitely do believe we need our society to be set up in a way that assists us in making healthy decisions. But in order for that to be the case, we, as people, need to value our health. If we don't, then the structures and institutions within the society that are profiting off of our ignorance or indifference won't either. And given our current world, it actually requires concerted effort and therefore energy to be healthy, to align, or more accurately, realign our lifestyles with health and our most effective self. That said, it is the most important investment we will ever make. But because health is our natural state, it's actually easier than people may assume. Many people think that being healthy is hard, which is so far from the truth. All it requires is you truly valuing yourself, and from that choice point will every subsequent decision you make flow. Now, don't get me wrong. Being compassionate with yourself as you progress in your health journey is a crucial component of it, so you don't have to be too rigid. Giving yourself grace will be a much needed tool while you work to better your lifestyle, and with it you will be able to get back on track and stay on track. And on that track, will you be able to find your footing, gain momentum, and before you know it, health will be your reality. That said, it is about being proactive, knowing your goal, and moving towards it. It's a dedication of purpose. We're not looking for a cheap solution or a quick fix where you have to keep coming into the clinic every week to be treated again for the same problem. We don't want to address the symptoms, but rather the root. If you go to someone like a chiropractor, they better be giving you take-home exercises. If it's not, it's wasting your time and making you dependent. With Big Pharma, people are so often put on medications that give them side effects, to which they take other medications to deal with it. All of this may soothe the physical manifestations of the disease, but it completely bypasses the underlying cause. It ignores possible problematic behavioral habits, and patients are left with no better an understanding of how to be an active participant to their health. This actually leads to greater burden in the long run in terms of financial, time, and general energetic investment. But enough of this. There's no way around it. If you want to be healthy, you're likely going to have to be willing to make lifestyle changes instead of relying on the healthcare system to just fix you. Yes, we are there to help, but it's going to take effort and it's going to take commitment. Your greatest healthcare is you truly caring about your health. Lifestyle changes may mean other things you currently value being put in their place, as in secondary to health. It may require shifting things in your daily routine, but when health is concerned, there's no better time than right now. It may not require a complete overhaul of your life, but rather subtle adjustments. An example of this would be if you work a desk job, taking movement breaks every hour, 5 minutes of activity. Start your day with some deep breathing. We're going to make more videos on practical tips you can use to infuse health into your day. But for now, just understand it's doable. You may need to be creative, but again, it is doable. When it comes to time investment, however, I want to emphasize that it's more so about attention and in turn, intention. What I mean by this is that it may seem to require time when you're coming from autopilot being the norm. Most people think they don't have time to make their health more of a priority, to exercise after work, make dinner instead of buying takeout, or meditate because they're so busy. And for many, much of their busy schedule is filled doing things that don't even feel enjoyable to them. They seem to struggle with presence and find it difficult to free themselves from their daily routine. A cycle that just seems to go on and on, draining their energy as it goes. This is why, for example, if people do manage to fit a workout into their routine, it's usually rushed. People feel like they just don't have the time. However, it's not about needing more time, it's about being present. Present enough to cultivate a lifestyle that you don't have to rush through in order to get to the next thing. One thing isn't solely focused on getting more, but appreciating what you already have. Our life is not a means to an end. So we don't need more time, we need to prioritize what truly matters. We need to value our health, and we can pay attention to that by simply setting the intention of health and being present in the moment we're in. Because the healthy lifestyle is built on a moment by moment basis. It's about intentional movement, and this includes all movement, all behavior, and therefore all areas of our life. But to see a clear example, let's consider how we exercise. As I mentioned, many people rush through, overlooking proper form and mind-body awareness. However, at Human 2.0, we think that's key. Our fitness programs include a lot of same exercises to those of typical gym workouts, but we prioritize health over aesthetics, quality over quantity, and alignment over speed. Again, it's not about moving slower, but moving at whatever pace is necessary to actually pay attention to what you're doing, to be fully present. We also think it's important to incorporate exercises that mimic natural movement and mobility, so as to prepare you to go throughout your day and avoid potential injury. In this way, you are actually able to make the best use of your time because this steady intentional movement allows for sustainability and consistency. To be most efficient, physical energy can then be conserved when expenditure would otherwise be impulsive or reactive and thus directed effectively. You can build upon a solid foundation, practicing the daily mastery of the body and mind instead of just building, breaking, and needing fixing over and over again. We need to learn the fundamentals of health and apply them to our own life. This may seem unconventional, but again, it's actually natural. It may seem less flashy than what our society is accustomed to, but that's because, unlike it, this isn't about selling you something, like a gym membership that keeps you dependent on us. It's not about a sales pitch or trying to convince you to buy into something that you don't need. This is actually the only necessity, and it's free. It's already yours. You just need to value yourself enough to make it a priority. And when you do, watch it spread to every other aspect of your life and enrich it far beyond what you can even imagine. This is about education, so you can incorporate health and wellness practices independently into your routine. People say health is wealth, and that's completely true. What's the point of having everything and not being well enough to enjoy it? And I don't care what this world would lead you to believe, health attracts all good things. It is the prize. Some people in this world value beauty over health, but beauty at its roots stems from health. Similarly, actual happiness, meaning beyond pleasure, joy that is not fleeting, comes from health. As I've said, it's always available for us. Sure, there are difficult things that happen in our lives, some of which may seem inevitable. However, many illnesses and injuries are largely preventable, and we can do our part to practice prevention. Obviously, we start within our individual lives, but because our society is made up of individuals, the changes will be reflected in its systems, for they reflect who we are and what we value. When we are healthy, our collective body will likewise be more immune to societal illness, such as disease, confusion, and more capable of preventing societal injuries, such as conflict and division. That said, don't let it overwhelm you. The biggest scam is that health is hard. Health is who we are. We need to go back to basics, the foundation of our life. We can no longer value everything else, everything outside of ourselves, and ignore what keeps us alive.